Welcome to episode number 2 of the Mike Koenigs Show. This is all about 3 big ideas: getting attention, becoming famous, making and raising money. But it's not in that order. This show is sponsored, by the way, by our friends at Bulletproof Coffee, Cuisinart, Euphoric Tequila, and Vodka. Now, quick thing, if you're watching or listening to us live, you can chat, or you can send an email to mikekonigshow@gmail.com anytime. Now, today I brought in my friend, Mr. John Lee Dumas. He is running an impressive crowdfunding campaign. It's currently up to $421,680 for a project. We're going to talk all about it, and that is as of the time that we're airing the show live. And this is for a book. Now, the great news is we're going to break his campaign down step by step so you can model it for any business. Even if it's a book, it doesn't matter what it is. And I think this is something you really want to pay attention to. So, first of all, why do I like crowdfunding so much? When I'm talking about like Indiegogo or Crowdfunder or Kickstarter.com, well, the big things are, number one, is easy, it's free, you don't need any capital, and it's either low or no risk. And that's what I would say is, I think crowdfunding is going to completely disrupt every part of raising capital. It already is. I think it also has the potential to disrupt banking as well. And over the past year, in the United States, legislation was passed so you can raise capital for equity now. Now, if you think about it, if you ever wanted to raise money in the past, there was a whole bunch of complicated hoops and requirements if you wanted to raise money and sell equity. And some of the investor requirements that were necessary and the legal documents and the bills that went along with that were completely insane. So right now, anyone can invest for equity, and that is in a business, movies, you name it. Now, the great news is that means more money is available for just about anything, and it also does open up the potential for shenanigans and fraud, but I have a lot of faith in the market for sniffing out the bad guys. But the good news is people like John Lee Dumas, they're doing really impressive things with crowdfunding, and you're not only going to see some of the specifics, but we're going to deconstruct his campaign. So I'm all about deconstructing success and creating replicable results that can be measured, and that's what you're going to get today. I'm going to move on to the getting famous part of the show. My second guest today is JJ Virgin, and we're going to be talking about becoming a household name and a niche celebrity. JJ just wrapped up an online book launch with some super results. We'll talk about that. And also 2 days from now, if you're watching us live, we're producing a show. It's called Food Fights. It's an interactive online TV show with food experts that represent vegan, vegetarian, paleo, and gluten-free lifestyles. So they're going to battle for who's right to help you lose weight, feel great, and get your summer body back. Now, if you don't know JJ, she's got an awesome backstory, and she's built an empire from practically nothing. And the bottom line is, I think you can make more money and have more impact just by listening to the way she thinks. She's a household name in the celebrity nutrition market. She's been on PBS, the Dr. Phil Show, countless magazines, but she's also got a huge heart, and that's the reason I have her in my life. She's the most generous and abundance-minded person I know. And I also think she's about to become a bigger household name because she just did a deal with NutriBullet doing infomercials on traditional broadcast TV. So JJ and John have both done a great job of getting attention, and if you can get and keep attention, you're given opportunities to build an intimate relationship and bond with your audience. And when you do that, you're going to be successful. So there's a big lesson here. And if you look at Donald Trump, for example, if you love him or you hate him, it doesn't matter if he wins or loses the presidency, because really he's won. Because right now, I think he's one of the most recognized men on the planet, certainly in the United States. But what that really means is his value as a brand is multiplying everything he owns or puts his name on. Right now, I think we live in the greatest moment in history. We live in a very disruptive, but also an attention-getting world. And when you own attention, you own time. And that's the one thing money can't buy. So as we get things rolling today, next to me is my main man, Mr. Ed Rush.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Good. I'm excited for today's show.
It's going to kick ass.
Episode 2.
That's right. We made it through the first one.
One guest, Dave Asprey.
Yep.
Episode 2, two guests, John Lee Dumas,
That's right.
JJ Virgin. So it's either episode 3 is 3 guests or 4, depending on we're adding or multiple.
We'll do factorial, then we'll get to the moon. We'll stack the bodies.
We'll have
way up there.
320 guests by episode 5.
That's true.
I don't know if that's the right math or not. I'm not very good at math.
No, me either. You lost me already. No, that's all right. So, well, I know this is a super exciting. Oh, I didn't really introduce you. So people who don't know Ed
every
Rush,
week I get to write my own introduction.
Oh, yeah.
So read what I wrote
something
this
good. Okay, yeah, this is good. All right.
Mike doesn't know what's on his teleprompter.
All right,
at
so
this
next
part
to
of
me
the
is
day.
my co-host, former Marine F-18 fighter pilot who served 11 years and is the most efficient, effective business coach I know. That's true. That is true. And I have also been told he's a great kisser.
Half of this.
Oh, nice. By the way, Ed wrote this entire intro and wants you to know he's humble too. So
Yeah,
thank
that's
you,
right.
Ed Rush. Yeah.
So thank you. Half of that is right. The joke is, who has 2 thumbs, a winning smile, and is really humble? This guy.
That's
here.
right.
So
Ed Rush, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
that's about all I've got for you tonight, Mike.
Well, we've got some more. Besides our friends, one more time, Bulletproof Coffee.
Yes.
We're having a Bulletproof
We
here.
are having
Bulletproof
Bulletproof.
decaf. I
Tonight,
can't do the caffeine.
It's decaf. I had regular earlier today.
Yeah. Not me. Can't do it. I get nervous.
Yeah.
I have anxiety attacks.
It's good. It's good coffee.
From anything, and not just any kind.
Yeah. I
So-
like it smooth instead of chunky.
Yes. If that's a good one. If you didn't see the chunky Bulletproof coffee recipe, you have to subscribe to the podcast
right.
at mrbz.com/podcast because first of all, it was freaking funny,
We had
really
fun.
funny. We've got something special for you today too. If you like that, you're gonna love what we have for you tonight.
Ugh.
It's great.
Sorry.
Oh no. All right.
It may perhaps cause more damage to my personal brand than anything we've ever done.
Hush.
ever.
It's
That's
awesome.
all I'll say about that. Hang
No.
on. It's coming soon.
It's going to be great. So there's also something else. If you have any questions that you'd like me to ask John Lee Dumas about crowdfunding, get them in right now at MikeKoenigsshow@gmail.com. The other thing that we have for you today is we're going to be announcing the winner of the Apple TV. We're going to be talking about we're going to be doing another productivity amplifier.
Yes.
We've
Giving
got-
away a gadget.
We have a new blind, dumb, and deaf
Tasting.
tastings, okay, but we're going to involve our guest tonight, which is going to be a blast.
This is the part. That's the part of the show where we go from caffeine to alcohol.
Yep. Oh yeah. And so we've got great stuff for you. I'm really excited. So also you'll have that time at the end of the show to spend more time with John. So get your questions in now or during the preliminary part of the interview because we're going to be going and checking and seeing what kind of questions you have. So with that, you ready to get this show on the road?
How to get a book on Kickstarter or
Not just a
Indiegogo.
Kickstarter, any
Yeah.
kind of a book. All right, so here's what we should do. I know what I'm going to do. We're going to do something sneaky here as we get our guest ready to go. He's over in the almost screen room. That's right, John Lee Dumas is off camera right now. So I think I'm going to frame and set this up. Are we ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So here's the deal. If you've ever wanted to raise, whether it's 5,000, 50 grand, 100 grand or more for a passion project that you might have or a business, it's possible to do it without giving up equity, like what John's done with the Freedom Journal, for example. And that's what he's done. He's on the road to raising potentially $500,000 for this book. And that's really what the potential is with using Kickstarter or Indiegogo. And that's what John Lee Dumas is going to share with us today. Now, I'm going to give you a little backstory on John because he started podcasting in 2012. He's interviewed over 1,200 of the world's most successful entrepreneurs who shared their journey on his podcast, which is EO Fire. Now, it's also been known as Entrepreneur on Fire. Now, he calls these knowledge bombs, but those are people who are dropping big ideas. And that's from what are some of the most savvy entrepreneurs. And his episodes right now have been downloaded more than 12 million times by listeners in 145 countries just in 2015, which I think there's like 160 countries worldwide. Now, some of his guests have included Jack Canfield, Barbara Corcoran, Tim Ferriss, Pat Flynn, Seth Godin, Guy Kawasaki, Gary Vaynerchuk, Mike Koenigs, who's that guy, and many more. Now, the biggest thing that he's doing is he's dialed into an avatar he calls Jimmy, and he's even put together a video that describes Jimmy, which is his ideal listener. His goal is to reach professionals, business owners, entrepreneurs, and with the world's best interviews and insights, he's put together an awesome formula that is actionable, and that's one of the reasons why I really like him, and I've watched him transform what he's done with his business over the past few years. Now, the focus of his show is really simple. He just wants to share game-changing, life-altering insights from some really, really insightful and entertaining entrepreneurs. Now, after interviewing all these 1,200 plus people, the biggest thing that John has figured out is the most successful people on the planet in business and in life are the ones who set and accomplish goals, and that's why he put this project together. So in order to help people do that, he put together the Freedom Journal, and you can learn more at mrbz.com/freedom. Okay, so what it is, it's a physical journal. I've had mine. You can hold it in your hands. You can keep it on your desk. It's a daily reminder to set and accomplish your biggest goals, and it holds you accountable as you move on in your life and in career. So before I introduce John to you, what we're going to do is we're going to roll a short video that John has on his campaign right now, on his campaign page, and that way it'll get you in the right mindset and frame when I interview John, and also when we come back and deconstruct this campaign and figure out and find out why it is so successful. So here's that video right now.
Are often set, but rarely met. We get so energized by the business ideas that we have, the marathon we signed up for, the novel that we want to write, or the trip that we want to take. But what happens after you've set those goals or written down your dreams? Life, work, family, responsibility, it all gets in the way. And worst of all, no action towards actually achieving the goals you set. That's why I created the Freedom Journal, to help you set and accomplish your #1 goal in 100 days. I spent the better part of a decade doing what I was supposed to do. I went to college, became an officer in the US Army, law school, corporate finance. I was still struggling financially, mentally, physically. I had no passion, no purpose, and no vision for my future. That was 3 years ago. Then I set one goal: to launch a daily podcast interviewing entrepreneurs. I didn't know exactly what it would lead to. 1,000 episodes later, over 1 million downloads a month, earning 7 figures a year. But I knew that setting one goal was how I would get freedom over my life. After seeing the power of setting and reaching one single goal, I wanted to create a way for others to do the same. The Freedom Journal will teach you how to set your #1 goal and guide you in the accomplishment of that goal in 100 days. Think of it as an accountability partner with you every step of the way. Whatever your one goal is for your career, health, even a hobby, the Freedom Journal begins by guiding you in setting a SMART goal. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound. If you're not preparing to accomplish a SMART goal, you're preparing to fail. I won't let you fail. There are 2 choices. 1, continue on the same path that you're on and continue achieving similar results. Or 2, invest in yourself with the Freedom Journal and know that the accomplishment of your #1 goal is only 100 days away. It's time to set your sights on the Freedom Journal. It's time to take control. It's time. The Freedom Journal. Set and accomplish your #1 goal in 100 days.
Now that was an exceptionally well done video. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, one of the things that I know I'm going to be asking you is about just how you put that thing together, the scripting, and everything that went into assembling it. But let's just begin first of all with what was the idea? Where did the idea for the Freedom Journal come from?
I've done 1,200 episodes now.
Yep.
You've been one of those amazing episodes, Mike.
Yeah,
And
that was a
so
blast.
my audience, Fire Nation, would ask me this question over and over again. John, like, what do all of these successful and inspiring entrepreneurs have in common? And I didn't have a great answer for them. I'd always say they work really hard, but
Yeah.
I wanted to give them more. So it was about a year ago, January of 2015, that I sat down and I said, what is that one thing that does separate successful entrepreneurs from unsuccessful entrepreneurs? And it's successful entrepreneurs know how to set and accomplish goals.
Right.
Unsuccessful entrepreneurs struggle with the same thing. So I set out to fix that, and I wanted to bridge the gap, create that solution, and I decided to create what has now become the Freedom Journal, accomplish your #1 goal in 100 days.
Yeah, it's a great idea, and you also did a physical product. So why physical? I have my own ideas on that, but I'm curious, what was your motivation? Because it's really well made. I mean, it's beautiful. It's got that leather look, a nice gold. I mean, it just feels and looks like a substantive product. You can see it right here. Okay, really nice. Nicely typeset. You know, there's forms and places to fill in, and everything's numbered. So it's, you know, and also you've got measurement in here, which is really important. So why physical?
A lot of reasons. I'll go with the biggest reason. Number one, there's a lot that's out in this world that's amazing as far as apps, PDFs, in the cloud, etc. I could have sat down and knocked this out in a month, and it would have been that other thing that was just out there that kind of got lost in people's computer, on their phone, wherever. I wanted this to be different. I wanted this to be special. I wanted it to be something that you could hold on to and say, this is real. I'm committed to this. And I feel like I'm kind of proud of this too. Like, this is a semi-legacy that I can put on my bookshelf. And maybe 100 years from now, your great-grandchild's picking that off and they're saying, wow, this is pretty crazy what great-granddaddy Mike was up to back in 2016. Like, these are his goals, you know, his vision, his message that he wants to share with the world. So I wanted to have that physical feel. I wanted it to be real for people on their bookshelf at home, on their desk, their nightstand, in their book bag when they went to Starbucks and they pulled. I wanted it to be real. And it wasn't going to be easy because, I mean, it's a physical product. And I knew that that was a barrier that I wanted to have to jump over. Because, you know, I'm very open with the success of EO Fire. We've done well for a number of years. I had the ability.
Well, yeah.
Thank you. I've had the ability to actually dig into my own pockets and fund something that was really expensive, that took a big team, that took a lot of time. And I knew that if I could bring this to market, it would set me apart from other people who really wouldn't be able to do that over that same time period. I mean, this was $125,000 to bring 20,000 of these from the manufacturing plant to the distribution center ready to go. But that level of barrier also made it unique and special.
Right. It's genius. So now, after interviewing over 1,200 successful entrepreneurs, and you've had a who's who, you've been able to attract some really great people because you're very systematic at what you do. There's a whole bunch of reasons why, but what is it that sets those people apart? Why do people fail to accomplish their goals, in your opinion? After, you know, you look at, you know, you get, I can't imagine how much email you get of people who are saying, okay, well, here's my problem, here's what I, you know, how help me, man, show me some shortcuts.
So a lot of people fail in the initial goal setting phase. Now, you know, we just entered February, so we're still early in 2016. What's a pretty common? You said a New Year's resolution. And what's a pretty common New Year's resolution? Well, the holidays just happened. We just had a lot of turkey and stuffing. We probably have a couple LBSs to lose. I mean, we all do, let's be honest. And so you hear a lot of people say, I want to lose weight, or even I'm going to lose weight. Now, there's a huge problem with that, because there's such thing as a SMART goal. Now, SMART is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound. Those are the 5 attributes you need to accomplish a SMART goal. When you say I want to lose weight, that's just one of those 5 attributes. That's just specific. You're missing the attainable part. You're missing the measurable, relevant, and timely, which is so critical. So you got to go through all of those things. What might that look like real quickly? It's just like specific, I want to lose weight, 10 pounds. Is that attainable? Yes, because I can lose 10 pounds. Is it relevant? Well, I want to look better, feel better. Is it time-bound? Yes, I have 100 days, thanks to the Freedom Journal, to do just that.
Very nice. Okay, so let's talk about the, you know, you've got your process, but let's get into the why Kickstarter part of things. So you chose Kickstarter. There's other crowdfunding platforms, and let's face it, you could finance this yourself, the whole thing, and just bring it to market, but this allowed you to go out and raise some money and bring some awareness to the campaign. But why specifically Kickstarter? What was your thought process?
Well, Kickstarter is the best known crowdfunding platform. So I did want to go with the best, the people, the business, the company, the brand that most people knew and felt most comfortable with. So that was a huge thing for me, for sure. But then also I wanted to be in control from beginning to end of the whole process. That's why I dug into my own pockets to get 20,000 copies printed. You know, that's why I controlled the logistics and I controlled where they're being, you know, housed in my LA warehouse right now. Like, I wanted that control. I didn't want to go to a traditional publishing route and lose that control. I wanted it from all, you know, from step 1 to step done. I mean, everything in the Freedom Journal has my stamp of approval. Nobody came in and say, this can't be here or that shouldn't be here. This is like what I wanted to bring to market.
So control, no publisher intervention, et cetera, et cetera.
For better and worse, pros and cons, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
That makes a ton of sense. So
that's what I wanted.
That makes a ton of sense. It's just, it comes down to what every entrepreneur wants, which is number 1, it's freedom, right? And control. I mean, that's really, so.
That's actually a good point. I mean, like,
totally, baby.
People ask me about the name, the Freedom Journal, Because that's another thing that you realize when you've interviewed 1,200 entrepreneurs.
What do they all have in common?
Well, everybody says, I want to spend more time with my kids, or I want to do more of this or less of that. And all of that's probably true, but what they really want is the ability to choose, the freedom to choose that.
Right.
Because you have great kids, Mike. I know I got to meet one last week, but I mean,
He's my only one.
okay,
Yeah, that's
you're
it.
one and only,
Yeah.
and he's great, but you don't want to spend 24 hours a day with him. Like, you don't want to choose to do that. Maybe 23 or 22, but the reality is, like, you want the ability to choose when to spend time, or your ability to choose when to come on this show and do this and have fun and get energized. Right. So when it really comes down to it, we want to choose freedom.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so next one is I want to also give our audience a shout out right now. So I want to encourage you, if you have any questions for John, either put it in chat right now at mrbz.com/live or send an email to mikekonigshow@gmail.com. And if you have any Kickstarter ideas or crowdfunding ideas that you want to run by John, we're actually going to do some questions. And then when we do our extended deconstruction, we're going to even go a little bit deeper. We'll take some audience questions too. So now there's something else that you've been up to. So you've had remarkable success. Again, you've been really open. You've netted millions of dollars, certainly this last year, and this has been a growing business. But just this last week, I asked you about your goal, your financial goal. I won't reveal the specifics, but I said, and you told me a number that's about 5 times more than what most people need, when they hit their big number. Okay, they call it the FU number, right? And I said, what do you want? What do you want that much money for? And your answer was actually pretty interesting to me, because I didn't know how philanthropically minded you are, but you've got Pencils of Promise, which is an organization that you're supporting. Why don't you talk a little bit about what you're doing philanthropically?
I'm a huge believer in when entrepreneurs reach a certain level of success, I think we need to step back and say, how can I now take this success and move into significance? And that's what I've really spent 2014, 2015, and now 2016 doing, is shifting. 2012, 2013, those were tough years. I'm trying to make it, nose to the grindstone. That success came. Now how do I shift into significance? So when I decided to create this Kickstarter campaign, a couple of the quick reasons I wanted to do this: it allows me to do great packages for Fire Nation, do things like spend a day with JLD, like actually be on EO Fire as a guest.
Right.
I get 300 inbound requests per month. I mean, 99% of people are getting no's.
Yeah.
And so this is an opportunity for people to come on my show now when they invest in themselves heavily. Some other really cool gifts and packages that Kickstarter allows you to do very seamlessly.
Right.
So that's one reason why we're at $422,000 right now, because I've been able to really just say, hey, this is a $39 if you just want one, but if you want 2, it's $75. 5, it's $175, and package things up, but then offer other cool things as well.
You package experiences, which is really that's what is so great about this, and that's something that you get that instant feedback on top of it. It is a marketing. It's beautiful. It's
thank you.
Really
and
awesome.
I said, hey, I know this is going to be big because I have a large audience,
right,
and I know this is a product that people need. I mean, people need, Mike, to accomplish their number one goal. Because if they can just knock over that one big domino that's standing right there in front of them, let's even use a little example here. If they can knock over that domino,
right,
okay, a chain reaction of awesome can happen after that, which is really cool. We should actually line up 3 or 4 here.
Not a bad idea.
But that chain reaction of awesome can happen. Back in 2012, what was my one big domino? It was EO Fire.
Right.
Because I focused and knocked it over. Everything that I've had of success since then is because of that one big goal that I set and then accomplished. And by the way, I looked back and I did the math. It was about 105 days it took me to do that, which is why the 100 days is very significant and why I broke it down into 10-day sprints, 25-day quarterly reviews. But I want to circle back to Pencils of Promise because that was huge for me.
Yeah.
So when I wanted to, create the successful product, and I knew that it was going to raise a lot of funds and money, I really wanted to know that it was going to be more than just another revenue stream for EO Fire, because that's something that we really don't need. What we do need is more education in this world.
Right.
So I looked out, and one of my great past guests, Adam Braun, is the founder of Pencils of Promise, and they build developing schools. I mean, they build schools in developing countries, third world countries, for those people that are less fortunate. And I said, Adam, I want the first $25,000 that are raised, because what I love about Pencils of Promise is for $25,000, you build a school soup to nuts. That's it. They go into a developing country and they build where there was nothing, they build a school that lasts for generations and generations educating and giving people that gift of education. And so I said, hey, the first $25,000, I want to just write a check to Pencils of Promise for $25,000. We did that in 3 hours. And every time we've hit another funding goal, I've written another check for $25,000 to build a school in a developing country. And I'm looking to write my 3rd check now in this short campaign already. So this has been a really successful campaign. And what I love saying is, like, everybody that's donated to the Freedom Journal campaign, what have they done? Well, they've given themselves the gift of accomplishing their number 1 goal, which is a gift that they deserve and is going to be huge for them.
Right.
But they're also giving the gift of education to those less fortunate. Well, I mean, what a feel-good story this is.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's I think one of the phrases I use all the time is life is a laboratory, right? And that's the best thing you can give to your following is, live and lead by example. And so often, if you've got a following, a lot of your audience wants to be like you or wants to have what they believe your lifestyle is. Again, they're looking for that experience. So it makes a ton of sense. So let's move on to the podcasting side of this. First of all, again, you were one of the first people to do a 1 podcast per day podcast, which you've done. I know we've had this conversation before. At any given time, you've got 2 months or more of content in the can, so that gives you freedom to do whatever you want to do, theoretically anyway, right? Yeah, but theoretically. But it gives you some buffer space, right? But why podcasts, and why the motivation there?
2012, I looked at my life, and I wasn't thrilled with the path my career was going. I just wasn't super inspired by it. And I looked at other people that were out there, both in business and just in entrepreneurship in general. I said, those guys, they're waking up every morning excited about what they do.
Those guys meaning people who you want to speak to or an audience.
Exactly.
Right, people like you, really.
Now. And so I was just like, what can I do to actually learn from them, to be mentored by them? And I just looked at it realistically, and I said, they're never going to talk to me. I'm a nobody. I haven't done anything great in my life. I've just kind of trudged along doing my thing. And then I realized that, hey, podcasting is this amazing medium where I can create a show, just like the Mike Koenigs show. I mean, this is a huge production. It's amazing. You're getting people like JJ Virgin coming because you have this, you've created this. It's incredible. And I said, hey, if I can create a show that is unique, that creates some buzz, then I can bring people on my show. And they'll do that because I'm giving them value. I'm saying, hey, I'm building an audience of entrepreneurs. You have product, services, books, communities that you sell to entrepreneurs. So this is a win-win. And then they can come on, mentor me. I can build a relationship with them. And then I can just go from there. And I said, why would I do that 4 times a month, which is a weekly show, when I could do that 30 times a month? Instead of having, 50 entrepreneurs I talk to in a year, why not 365? And so I just put everything into overdrive. And I like to say that I was the best podcast doing a 7-day-a-week daily show, interviewing entrepreneurs when I launched, but I was also the worst. I was the only daily podcast. So I was the best, I was the worst, I was in the middle, I was all in between.
But you're the only one, right?
I was the only one. I found that niche, that void that needed to be filled.
Right. Well, you know who the most beautiful girl in the room is? The only girl in the room. Yeah. There's an old joke about an 80-year-old woman who goes into a lingerie store, and that's basically the punchline. So I'm curious, who's the first podcaster that you followed?
Dave Ramsey. I kind of started listening to him on radio because that's what I was doing. I was just like everybody else listening to radio back in 2009. And he mentioned, hey, by the way, you can listen to my old episodes on my podcast. And I was like, what's a podcast? So I started listening to Dave Ramsey's archive shows, moved into Susie Orman. And I was like, these are this is good content, but it's very repetitive. And I've heard it once, I've heard it a million times. So I started to listen to some actually local San Diegans here. Pat Flynn was doing a show. Davis Ivan Garland out of St. Louis. And I was like, these guys are just dudes they're in their living room with a microphone talking. I can do that.
Right. Awesome. So here's what we're going to do. We've got a question in from one of our viewers who'd like us to review a Kickstarter campaign. And what I want to do is I want to do that, and it'll give us a chance too, because we're going to go overtime. And I'm going to ask you more questions. We're also going to go deep into the how you built the campaign.
Sure.
So you ready for that?
I'm excited.
Okay. This is really good. We're actually going to review and get your feedback on a campaign. You ready?
Cool. Let's do it.
All right. Let's get it ready here. If we can cue it up, and let's let it roll.
All right, how you doing? Is this thing on? Well, hello and welcome to my campaign. My name is Billy Ron, and I was on this website the other day. It's called Indiegogo. Now, it wasn't what I was expecting. What I found when I got there was you could raise money for just about anything you wanted to. And I have a dream. I do have a dream, America. My dream is to do a hanging of engines. Truck engines, car engines, all kinds of other kind of vehicle engines in my front yard by chains because I like mechanic work. Now, I wanted to raise money for the hanging of the engines, and so I'm doing this Indiegogo campaign, and I'm offering some very nice prizes. First, for $10,000, you can get a 4-hands massage with my cousin, Billy Ray. Now, I know that looks exciting, but let me tell you the places where you might be able to go for $100,000. You can come and visit our 5-star resort right here in Alabama, and when you get here, you can do a pool with all the amenities. You can do a hot tub, which you can see is also very exciting. And so I would suggest every bit of myself that you would donate to my campaign. We're looking to do some money. Hey, kids, get off my f***ing engines. Hey, what are you doing here? Support my campaign.
We made that just for you.
My face is so red, it feels like it's burning. I mean, I guess if I stay on brand, it would be like, I guess it's on fire. That's like the funny, I thought the last week when you went out on the street and visited some people and asked them if they were I thought that was the funniest video ever. That wins.
There you go. Every episode, that's our goal. So we made it just for you.
Periscope.
All right.
How would you break that down for our viewers? Would
Yeah,
you recommend
do you have
any
some recommendations
changes
on-
or-
Yeah.
Okay, and this is some interesting, honest feedback is that I didn't know right away that it was Ed. It took me, about 30 seconds, and I'm really embarrassed about that, to be honest, because I was like, they really want my advice
My
on
wife
this
didn't
Kickstarter.
know. Vivian didn't recognize
It's
it.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. When I finally it clicked, I was like, okay, this is too funny. But I was really trying to get into it. I was like, what am I going to say about this video? But what I will say, which is what I was going to say, is it keeps you watching. I was just like, I don't know anything about what they're getting to, but I want to keep watching.
Yeah.
So you have a future, Ed, not just in fighting jet play.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, if things go south with this show, I've got an Indiegogo campaign.
There you go. You got.
It's already raised $11, John. So
Yeah.
I haven't
so
even
we're
got a
on.
chance.
No,
we're
you-
on.
We are. It is. We actually put it on Indiegogo today. It's at mrbz.com/engine. Ed basically said if he raises money, he'll.
We'll donate it.
on- yeah.
We'll donate it to your.
Pencils of Promise.
To Pencils of Promise.
Honestly, that's some of the funny things that just take off. Exploding Kittens is the #1 most
Unbelievable.
raised money on Kickstarter ever. I mean, it's like a real game, but I mean, it's at the same time a joke.
Yep.
That's hysterical.
Well, it's good. So I hope you're ready to go. We're going to do the round 2, where we're going to do a little. We're going to go in depth with the campaign. You up for that?
I am up for that.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I actually have to turn to my friend Ed Rush here. What's our next segment here?
We're going to bring JJ out, but first JJ's going to give us one of her 1-minute fitness tips.
We're going to do that.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is let's skip on over. JJ is going to give us one of her body amplifiers. And when we come back, we're going to have JJ Virgin. I'm going to tell you all about her.
Now, if you want to burn fat all day long, it all starts with the morning. I'm going to show you how to have your perfect fat burning morning. It all starts with waking up and grabbing yourself a glass of hot water with lemon. The lemon is amazing because it helps you slow down the release of blood sugar when you do have that meal. But before the meal, I want you to get on your Exciser or some other great piece of burst equipment. I love my Exciser. And you're going to do some high intensity interval training to get your metabolism going and get that fat burning. Then have a cup of bulletproof coffee. Why coffee is so amazing is coffee is going to help be thermic and release that fat. And then wait about an hour and have yourself a shake. Now, the reason I love the shake is because it's the perfect trifecta of protein, fat, and fiber. What that does is it helps get your metabolism going while keeping your blood sugar doing a nice, slow, steady release. The protein keeps you full for hours along with the fiber, and the fat signals your brain to say, I'm full. So you'll be able to go 4 to 6 hours before your next meal because you're going to be using stored fat for energy. There it is. Start the morning fat burning, burn fat all day long.
All right, we are back, and we are going to be talking about getting famous. There, right over there,
There,
JJ.
there.
This is JJ Virgin, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. First of all, you just wrapped up your new a book launch.
A book launch. Well, for the Virgin Diet came out in paperback after 3 years, which is a big deal because the longer you wait till it gets into paperback, the better it's been selling. So we just did a little promo and a live cast to support its launch.
So how did it go?
You know, it did. So to me, I measure everything in impact because what I want to hear is that this has changed someone's life.
Right.
And then I want to make sure that the information's so actionable that that person can now go take it out and change other people's lives.
Right.
And then you've really done something. You've made your mark.
Right, right. So I'm going to talk a little bit. There's two things I want to talk to you about. One of them is the getting famous and becoming a household name, because you're a great example of someone who's just busted her butt. You came from nowhere.
I came from under nowhere, from like less than nothing.
But that's what makes you hungry and makes you fun.
Yes.
And the other thing is, you know, you're incredibly abundance-minded and super generous, which is something that you've always operated from that principle. And like every time I'm around you, I always feel more generous and abundant-minded. You know, you're good for me that way.
You should be hanging around with me all the time. Well, you pretty much do.
We
now,
do. We've been
so,
spending a lot more. You moved to San Diego.
I know.
But the other thing that we're going to talk a little bit about is food fights, which is.
Have you seen what's going on social media? It is like mudslinging. It is incredible what is going on. Like this is so much fun. I mean, what's so great here is that a lot of times in health it can be super boring and uptight, and not with these people.
Right.
There's some stuff going on.
Yeah. So maybe what we'll do is let's talk just for briefly. If you gave people who've never heard of JJ Virgin your quick commercial, would you share that? And then we'll talk about food fights and then the getting famous part. I know I'm bouncing around a little bit here, but I'm going somewhere, I promise.
My quick commercial.
Yeah.
You know,
who's JJ Virgin? Where'd you come from?
So where I came from, I'm a high maintenance hippie from Berkeley, and then I moved to LA. I always wanted to be an actress, but I realized it was silly and I was too tall to get into most roles. But I also always loved nutrition and health, and so I started paying my way through UCLA as a personal trainer. And the day after graduation, I just went into grad school in exercise science, and I got bit by the nutrition bug. And what I realized out there was I wanted to have a lot more impact than I was having one-on-one. And so I really just kept intentioning, I want to hit 1 million people, I want to reach 1 million people. And the next thing you know, I'm on Dr. Phil doing his weight loss shows every week. And it just kind of snowballed from there.
Good. And let's talk a little bit about your break, though, because at some point you figured out at least you started figuring out how to build your fame and your value.
Yeah, so I think I'm the perfect example of that song, you get knocked down and you get up again. It's like, boom, 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 you know, the little doll that just you hit and it comes back up. You know, I don't think there was one big break. It was like there was a break and then I stumbled, and then another break and I stumbled. Like I got this ABC primetime pilot, my big break, but then it never aired, you know? And then I did my first book, but no one bought it.
Right.
So, but I knew I had something valuable to say. And I think what really helped was when I did the Virgin Diet, because for so many people, you know, your fat's not your fault. We're following the wrong set of rules. And this was one that people would grab onto. One of my unique abilities, my superpowers, is take complicated stuff and make it fun and sexy and easy to do. And that's what the Virgin Diet did. And it literally blew up on public television and changed millions of lives. And that was the big one.
Right. But that wasn't long ago.
It wasn't long ago. It was 3 years ago. And right at the same time that happened, as you know, my son was in a near fatal accident. So like I'm launching a New York Times bestseller literally from the ICU. In fact, I just looked at the pictures yesterday, and there I am with my laptop. He's in a coma with, you know, the respirator and the tube out of his head, and I'm talking to him, and because I knew that he could hear me, and I'm making sure that my book goes because I'm the sole financial support for my family.
Yep. No, you did it. And I'm just gonna make a note to my team right now. You have to choose AirPlay as the output. It's not a cable challenge. So someone cannot come out here and select that. That's why we had a little technical challenge out here. But
it's live. That's what happens.
It is.
That's
This is what
makes
happens
it
live.
fun.
So you have to actually choose not the cable. Don't unplug it. It's choose AirPlay from the computer and choose HDMI 2. That is what you select. It's okay. I've got my notes in front of me here. So, JJ, I want to talk a little bit about food fights a little bit.
Yes.
And what we're doing with Health Network Live.
Health Network Live is our dream together. You came up with it, and then we kind of took it together and ran. And we tested this last year, and it really was the idea of, like, how do you get this information out to the masses? I know the most amazing health experts, health entrepreneurs, but most people don't have any access to them, and they're not out on national TV because a lot of their messages are a little controversial and correct.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, but the advertisers don't like to pay for shows where we're bashing fast food and Nabisco and all those types of things. So we decided to put together an online interactive television show featuring amazing experts and really giving you at home the ability to connect with them directly, ask your questions. We can share fun information. We thought it'd make it more fun.
Right.
If we made it a little more controversial, in that it's super confusing out there, as you know. Like, should you be vegan? Should you be paleo?
Well, I feel like I get attacked. You know, you have that conversation. It's not as bad as it was a couple of years ago, but yeah, you get around people who are like militant vegetarian or militant vegans.
Yeah, which is crazy. I'm pegan. What
Pegan?
about you?
I don't know what that means.
Oh my gosh!
Pork vegan?
How are you, my co-star, if you're going to be this out of touch?
I'm just like, no, I have not
It's
heard pegan.
paleo vegan. Pegan.
Okay.
Dr.
Yeah,
Oz had it on his show. Mark Hyman talked about it.
You know me, I don't watch TV. I like to make it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, yes, so we're having paleo versus vegan. There has been a lot of slinging. So this is what's super funny. So Dr. Kellyanne Petrucci, the bone broth diet queen who's paleo, has been taking Joel Kahn, who's our vegan doc, and she has been photoshopping his face onto different pictures showing him driving through McDonald's grabbing bags of burgers.
Oh, nice.
And putting this online, saying, I've got my cam on, I'm doing this, and then he's going back, of course, and showing her doing others. And it's just, it is so funny, this slinging back and forth.
So here's what I think I want our audience to know about is we're doing this show.
It's
2
Saturday.
days as of, so right now, and we'll just tell you about it, you can actually sign up for it. It's mrbz.com/HN, which stands for Health Network, easy enough. And we've got experts who are coming on. We're going to be doing, it's kind of a boxing theme.
We are wearing
We're gonna be
boxing
fighting.
gloves. We've got pies to throw, and we've got raffles. We've got great raffles. We're giving stuff away. But yeah, we're going through vegan and paleo and gluten and low sugar impact and fat and how to feed your kids and not have a food fight. Super great, useful information, which is what makes it so fun. And kind of sorting through all of this stuff. We have panels so we can debate it, so that you'll leave going, what the heck should I eat? You'll know what to eat.
Yeah, I think the big idea here, what JJ and I set out to do, is create live interactive online TV that was fun, highly educational, motivational for the audience, that produce some actions as well. And we feature success stories, case studies. I mean, it's a blast to watch. It's a blast to make. And that's
But as
been the
opposed
vision.
to some of this reality, because I've done a lot of reality TV, and as opposed to that, you will actually get tips that can change your life, right? So you'll have fun and get better.
So the whole goal here is we're experimenting with this brand new medium. JJ's all in, I'm all in. This show is an example of that. So we've got an entrepreneur network, we've got a health network, and those are the two.
And we'll see what comes
niches
next. We've been thinking. Who knows?
So so check it out. Definitely, it's coming up again. Check it out at mrbz.com/health network. I promise we will have a blast.
/HN.
You
said health
Oh,
network.
it's /HN. There we go. mrbz.com/HN. Thank you for that, JJ. It's nice to have JJ here to protect my butt. All right. So here's what we're going to do next. We're going to do a productivity amplifier. You ready for that?
Yes.
You should be.
Yes, I am.
Because
does it involve
this is-
coffee?
We've got coffee.
This is just about Bulletproof. Dave, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, one more time for our sponsors. Thank you, Bulletproof. Thank you. But we are going to go back and we're going to show you a productivity hack, productivity amplifier. This is an app that has changed the way I get stuff done, and it's short, it's affordable, and it's really, really awesome.
Let's see it.
Let's roll it.
Productivity Amplifier.
Welcome to Productivity Amplifier. That's right. So at Rush,
Yes,
I've got a
sir.
challenge that every single person I know
Yeah.
who is an entrepreneur has, which is they need or want to find some way to record
Prank
phone
calls.
calls. Yeah, there you go. And here's the big thing. It's like in the old days, we had to have some pretty complicated, expensive hardware to do it,
Yeah.
or something that just sounded horrible. And I have found the best app ever to do it.
Tell me what it is.
It's called Tape a Call, and I have it right here. You can see it on screen behind me. I'm going to open it up. So first of all, it is a $10 app. It's $9.99, but you can record as many phone calls as you want. And it also has a link directly with rev.com, so after you record one, you can press a button and send it to be transcribed.
And they'll immediately send you that within
It is so freaking
hours,
awesome.
yeah.
So I'm going to demonstrate it right now. We're actually going to get it on the phone. We'll probably have a little bit of
a
feedback
little
here.
chat. We're gonna have a little chat.
We could, and I'm going to show you how it works. First of all, you have a big red button on Tape a Call. But first of all, what you do is you bring up your phone, and I'm going to call you. So I'm going to click on the Ed Rush button here. There we
I'm
go.
on the
There's Ed Rush.
favorites. I'm
And
on
it
the
won't show
favorites
your
list.
number. That's what's important. And you're going to get a call. So go ahead and answer it.
It's an international number anyway. Okay.
Yep.
Sal's Pizza. Pick up a little.
Okay, there we go. And I can hear you right now. I can hear me. All right, so there we go. Now, all you do to start recording a call is you press your button and bring up Tape a Call. Press the big red button like this. Now, what it does is it actually calls Tape a Call, and as soon as it comes up, you click on your Merge Calls button, and boom, now it is officially recording us.
Right. So all we're doing is talking. And interestingly, this, as far as I know, is the only service out there that doesn't tell me on this end that that's happening. Even though there may be some legal ramifications for
Yeah,
that.
so that's that is, I'm glad you brought that
we
up.
don't give legal advice.
Yeah, there is a little function built in here that'll beep, just
Yeah.
like whatever. But technically, you're supposed to tell people that you're
Or ask.
recording them or
Yeah.
ask them. Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
don't play lawyers on TV. We're not giving
No,
you
we do
legal
not.
advice. We're just simply saying, like, for example, if you're having a team meeting with a bunch of virtual people who are outsourced, you can do that. You can say, hey, I'm going to record the call. I'm going to send you all the transcription of our meeting today.
That's right.
Everybody gets on, and a couple hours later, rev.com gives you a transcription, and you're done.
Yep.
It's really cool.
Now, when you're done, now I'm not going to show because it will actually display a lot of information. If I just hit the play button right now, it'll actually show the call, and it will download the call right to the phone, and you can have it automatically saved to Dropbox. So now you've got an audio file. So like for doing interviews, for example.
all those
Incredible.
900 numbers.
There you go.
So, I mean,
you
they're all
you
right
can
there,
replay
and
them
you can
over and
just
over.
replay it. No
All
need
the
to spend all
calls
that
with
money
your-
again.
And the calls to your psychiatrist after you have
Oh,
done
that's a
these
good point.
things.
That's
Who
another
knew?
one. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. I love this app. It is so dang handy, and you can check it out. Again, it's at mrbz.com/tapeacall. Couldn't get easier than that.
That's it.
All right. So this is another productivity amplifier.
It was great, man.
It is. One of my favorite things. All right. See you in a moment.
Mike's Gadget Giveaway.
Hey, welcome to one of my favorite segments of the show. It's Mike's Gadget Giveaway. And one of the biggest challenges that I see video producers or wannabe video producers run into is their video quality looks horrible. Now, beyond the built-in webcam that you have in your PC or your Macintosh desktop or laptop or whatever you're using, you can upgrade to a plug-in USB webcam like this one, which is a Logitech C930E. It's probably about the best quality looking device that I've seen out there. But let's say, for example, you want to migrate up to using a DSL camera. The problem with these are they output something called HDMI, which doesn't directly plug into or work with a normal computer without going through a whole bunch of headaches and work. So what's the solution? Well, I have tried out and tested, I'd say, a half a dozen devices, and most of them are horrible, but I found one that I absolutely love. It is this. It's from a company called Magwell, and it is what I'm going to be giving away in this week's Mike's Gadget Giveaway. So the link to check it out is mrbz.com/HDMI. And what is this little gadget? Well, there's just two connectors on it. One that goes from your camera, plugs in, and then one that plugs from this into your computer. It's a USB 3.0 connection. Now here's what happens, and I'm going to actually show you what it looks like on this screen right here. Now this is Google Hangouts, and what happens is you can actually see your video in real time. Now the only reason it's a little bit choppy is because we're using wireless inside the studio right now, but what I can tell you is the quality is freaking amazing. You have the benefit of a full DSLR camera, but it also works with Skype with no additional drivers. What does that mean? Well, it just means you plug it in, you turn it on. I'm going to bring up Skype for you right now. Here you can see the Skype window, and you can see my video that's playing inside it. Again, it's a little choppy just because of the way we have our video routed and set up inside our studio, but here's what's important. When you use the Magwell, you plug it in, you turn on your camera, and all of your software just immediately recognizes it, whether you're using Google Hangouts, Skype, or whatever, and you will look like $1,000,000. So, for the money, this is the best thing I've found that works flawlessly with PCs or Macs. I've turned a lot of people onto it. They absolutely love it. So if you would like to win this gadget, or for that matter, you'll be automatically entered into all of our Mike's Gadget giveaway entries, all you have to do is text MK Show to 58885 or visit mrbz.com/show. There you can register. You'll be automatically entered, and when we do a giveaway, you will receive an announcement as well. So that and a lot more you can expect along with the show notes and advanced information about upcoming episodes. So this again is the Magwell HDMI video capture device. Hope you enjoyed this segment. Look forward to seeing you in another Mike's Gadget giveaway very, very soon. Bye-bye. Hey Ed, you know what one of the most frequently asked questions that we get emailed, what it is?
Yes, it is. How can I come and be a part of the Mike Koenigs show?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So a lot of
We've
people
got
are
it.
saying they want to come in and they want to watch a production. So we put together an opportunity to make that happen.
Up until now, we've only had a few seats.
Yep.
But we're going to do this in an event.
In a bigger way, yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
So it's March 17th.
Yeah.
It's at an event that we put on. It's an annual event called Make, Market, Launch It with Pam Hendrickson. And we also have some other awesome speakers.
Yeah.
But what the opportunity is for you is you can come and actually watch us record and perform an episode live. Might even be able to show up in it, who knows?
Even be part of the show. And so it's actually during a 3-day event.
Yes,
That's
right.
the entire event. The show we're going to be doing on the night of the first event at 6 o'clock. But we'd love to invite you to the entire event as well. We're going to do everything we can to waive the tuition as much as we can. There's only a small materials fee that we're asking you to put down so that you can come. The page that you see below describes the entire event. We're not going to go through all of it. We'll tell you it's a good teaching event and it's a good fun event. We have parties and
Networking,
Networking,
great
yeah.
opportunities, but it's all about
Yeah.
making, marketing, and launching your own products and services as well. We talk about marketing, podcasting, video marketing, etc. It is an immersive, awesome experience with really, really cool people. All you got to do is check it out at mrbz.com/mml, and I know we've got a little video that we're going to roll right
You
now.
got that? We'll see you there.
Okay.
Those of you who have been with us before, welcome back. And those of you who are new to us, welcome to the family.
I'm going to give you the key to the kingdom right now.
I believe right now, more than ever before, is an opportunity to get in on the ground floor of something really, really cool.
Caliber of speakers that they have at this event, you'd have to go to 5 or 6 different events to hear this many speakers at this level.
The quality, the consistency, the continuity, and the consistent value with every single piece of information that they provide for you. The quality is impeccable.
This is what you're going to do. This is what I want you to do. Because if you do this, this is the promise I made to you initially. This is the promise. No one will be able to look away from you.
We've got 7 steps that make market launch. What I'm trying to do is simply this. I'm trying to share with you real life stories so that you can go, I can totally do this.
did close the deal on Monday for the multi-million-dollar deal, so
Wow.
I think we're past 6 to 7.
That's amazing.
Thanks,
Congratulations.
you guys, thank you.
The presenters are amazing, and they actually send you away with real ways of, developing your business or developing your product.
Being around this, getting into the groove and learning the language, learning the mindset is the first step.
What are some of the things you need to get rid of? Physically, spiritually, emotionally, to make room for you to step into the gifts of who you are and what you have to give.
Really going to see how we think about marketing and creating products. Biggest results, shortest period of time, something significant. Tell me the story. Who is she?
I mean, I had a 40-year-old woman come in. She's a young mom.
It's not about the candle, right?
Fantastic.
It's about your message. Does that make sense?
Yes, it
Okay,
makes a
cool.
lot of sense.
You gonna do that?
Of course.
All right, good. I like that.
Thank you.
So, very good.
I got more out of this than I could have possibly imagined.
I've met some really fantastic people.
I've met so many like-minded people and authentic people.
The people that are here are absolutely exciting.
The information and the quality of the people here are extraordinary. They're like a magnet that attracts caring people who want to make a difference in the world.
If you come up and ask me if my program for authors is a good program, I'm going to tell you it's a great program. So don't ask me. Go ask them. Ask them if it was worth their investment. I'm betting they're going to say yes.
Your life comes first, and the business is an extension of your life.
Make Market Launch made a huge difference in my life.
It will be a life-changing event for you.
Honestly, one of the best decisions that I've ever made. Sorry, it's very emotional for me because they've really changed my life.
Blind, deaf, and dumb tastings.
And it looks like we're back.
We
Look
are
at
back.
this mug shot.
Man.
What
Look
a good
who's
looking girl.
tallest.
Yeah.
It's just saying.
We've got Stilts McMulligan over here. And
If I had heels like that, it might be
Yeah.
different.
So here's what we're gonna do. We've got
Blind.
the blind, dumb, and deaf tastings,
Yeah.
and we've got our. We have a special. We have kitties. We're gonna be wearing kitties.
yes.
All right.
You guys have some very, very sexy
So
garb, but what is
the
this
rules of the game are as follows. So Mike earlier this week picked out a drink that John and I have no idea what it is.
Yep.
I picked out a drink that JJ and Mike have no idea what it is, and then our producer Chris picked one that we're all going to taste. And
There's
you
no
get
sugar,
you get three
no
guesses.
dairy,
You
no
get
gluten.
there might be, but so you don't actually have to swallow it. It's just the rule. Hey, enough. Okay, I know what you're about to say.
You know,
I can see the look in your eye.
I was
okay?
right there with
So-
you. I'm like,
yeah, I know where you're
Moving right
going.
along.
So, So, and the rules of the game is it has to be something you can drink, and that's it. It just has to be. It can't be something.
Can't be bodily fluids.
Or
That's a
battery
rule.
acid. It's got to be something. So anyway.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
Mike and JJ, get your blindfolds on. John and I are going
All right.
to serve your first.
Okay.
Give it to him first.
No, come on.
You're gonna have to guess it together.
Come on,
but-
Tiger.
Okay.
All right,
Oh,
so
we're
I'm gonna go ahead
guessing
and
it.
show this
Okay.
to
Yeah,
the
we have to
camera
guess.
what I've
We
chosen
get to
for
smell
today.
it.
Okay.
They're gonna give us a
And,
cup.
All right. Okay.
All right, baby.
Okay.
Do you want to go ahead and here? This is what I'm pouring. Which I mean, we're all really familiar with this at this point, aren't we?
Okay.
If you've ever gone to college, here you're going to want a
Jägermeister.
good swig of that. It's actually a pretty good guess, but it's
Thank you.
not anywhere
No.
close.
No, I smell something else.
Everclear.
That's what the thing was. I was wondering what was cooking.
Oh, here, sorry. You guys can do this.
Okay.
Smell it.
Okay.
Feel it with your finger
Right,
if you need
second.
to. So
Oh, that doesn't smell
Thinking
bad at
that
all.
might not be sugar-free.
just have a sip and spit it back. It's not really that bad for you.
Oh, this is like that melon liqueur, right?
Yeah. It's like
Ew.
not like Mike's Hard Lemonade. It's really sugary and sweet. That's for sure.
nasty.
Yeah.
This is,
What? It's not nasty. Hold on a second.
give us a little hinty.
All right,
Hint.
so
It's like peach something or other.
it's
or watermelon.
Is it-
You either drink it in college or you drink it if you're homeless. It's called wine, but it's
Oh,
really
here's-
not.
oh, wait. Is this like Boone's Farms? Is it
Close.
Ripple?
It's really
Ripple.
close.
Is it Ripple?
It starts with an M. It's got some numbers in it. If
Mad
you-
Dog 2020.
Yes, that's it.
Mad Dog 2020. Jeez, that's great.
So you got it.
Ew,
Mad Dog
look at the
2020
color of that.
electric melon.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Oh, so I was right on the melon thing.
Wow.
So I should get a
You're
point.
totally right.
Yeah, I wouldn't give
That
you a
is
point
sweet.
for melon.
It's actually not that bad.
You'd wake up with a big
You know
bad
what?
headache
The fact
if you
that
drink
you say
this
it's not
stuff.
that
You
bad
gotta
is
love.
what's
I know.
bad.
You gotta
That's
love.
bad.
You got
It's $4.
How would you
That's
like
the crazy
it
thing.
if you were
whole thing.
if you made
Okay.
if you made drinks for a living and the person sipped it and said it's not that bad.
Okay, on with your
All right, here we go.
It's our turn.
helmets
Our
here.
turn.
Okay.
All right, I got
All right,
something
I'm
real
ready.
special for you guys.
I want to make sure that we can.
All right, no, you
Yeah,
you
no,
just keep
come
that
on,
on.
John Lee Dumas. Don't
Don't be
cheat.
cheating.
Cheater.
All right, they're both
Okay.
on. All right, ladies.
Did you say ladies?
Oh, okay. All
Right.
righty.
I was getting nervous at this point.
Okay. You know what? You should have been nervous from
afraid.
last week.
I'm
last
glad
week,
this wasn't ours.
No,
Thank
last
you.
week I gave you guys. Here, just a second. Here's
He's being
yours.
grabby
Edward.
over here.
All right.
Get him one.
Okay, this is for John Lee. Now you have to be specific
Oh,
about what it is.
That is a malt licorice type of beer right
Wait,
there.
I'm leaning towards.
Come on.
It's like natural light.
No, taste.
Did you want to take a sip?
He's taking
He
a
took
sip.
a
Yeah.
sip.
Oh, wait.
Cold 45.
Nope. You can do better than that. You guys should know better. Oh yeah, here we go.
Red
For the
Dog.
Nope. This is for the camera. I don't know
Not
if
Red
we got
Dog.
a zoom
Well, give him
on
a
this.
hint. Give him a hint.
Okay. Aussie.
Oh, it's the Canadian beer that comes in a can.
No,
and the
Australian.
beer that comes
Foster's.
in a can.
That's
Foster's
right.
Lager.
Australian for
Yeah,
beer.
there we go.
Do we get that?
It was
Oh, that's
too
good,
easy,
man.
yeah.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, I'm
It's
gonna
not
drink
that
the rest.
bad. It's not that
It's
bad.
got gluten.
It's got gluten. That
got
doesn't
gluten.
pass the JJ test.
What's wrong with gluten?
If you gurgle
It's the
gluten, it goes
foundation.
away.
Oh, that's the other show. Yeah, that's the
The
other
other
show.
show. Come back Saturday.
It's the foundation. Hey.
Remember
We'll be dealing
that
with
we've
that.
got the Health
Bosses.
Network. All right.
Okay.
pretty good.
Oh,
So
all
next
right.
one. Now
All right.
this one is our producer brought this in for
All
us.
Chris is gonna actually.
So are
Annie's
we
gonna
back
come
with the
serve us.
Yeah,
blindfolds?
Annie's gonna come
So
and
let's
pour
put that
for
down.
us.
Sorry, hold on.
Okay.
Did you just look at it?
No, I almost did.
Okay.
All right.
I saw
Annie's
that.
gonna come in, and so let's put on
No,
our
I didn't.
masks. We're gonna guess this for you. All right. And
Wait.
all right.
So
I'm
can
blindfolded.
Can I drink some of the Mad Dog while I'm waiting?
All right. Yes.
Is that what I have in my hand?
That's
No.
stuff.
Good.
All right. So remember, we've got the Health Network coming up on
We
Saturday.
won't be doing this on Health Network.
While we're
No,
waiting.
we'll not
Yeah.
be doing the blind.
We'll
dumb,
have
and deaf
some red
tasting.
wine though on Health
By the way,
Network.
thank you. We had another $1 raised at Billy Ron's.
That's great.
Yeah, that must be Fire Nation.
We're up to $12 now. So
Sweet.
That's definitely Fire Nation.
I donated $1. Mike donated 10. So one of you, 2 of you donated $1. Thank you.
Woo! Give them the address again, the URL.
Boy, that stuff's right.
mrbz.com/engine. ENGINE.
Like a car engine.
Yeah.
It'll take you right to the.
Okay.
Oh,
Indigo
oh,
campaign.
gross. What is this?
Oh, I
Have
know
you sipped
exactly
it, or
what
did
it
you
is.
just-
No, oh.
All
That is
Oh.
really bad.
I'll tell you exactly
oh,
what it is.
boy.
Oh.
Oh boy.
There's definitely.
You go ahead, Mikey.
There's definitely some mildew in here.
Oh, this
No,
is
no,
like,
no. It's easy. Okay, it's
oh,
beet juice.
Oh,
it is beet juice.
Like
Is that what it is?
borscht. It's borscht.
Yeah, it does. It smells like borscht to
It
me.
smells like.
Is it beet
Okay,
juice?
so are we done then?
Oh, it's beet juice. My goodness, yeah.
Okay.
We're done.
Oh,
This
You
will
don't have to
really
drink that
stain
either.
your teeth, by the way.
oh.
That stuff's sweet.
Wow.
Actually, that's not the only thing it'll stain. Because beets are so nice, it's
Oh,
the
yeah.
snack you see
Oh
twice.
yes.
Think about that for a
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Sort of
You'll-
like reverse
you'll-
corn.
Yeah,
That's already- that already
I think
sounds-
every time I have beets, I think I have the
You
next
know-
day. I think
you
I've
know,
got cancer.
All right.
I'm like, I'm like, that's it.
We're all
I'm
good,
gonna
man.
die. Oh wait, I ate beets.
It's
Never mind.
the final
So-
countdown.
So here's what we're gonna do. It is the final
Boys
countdown.
have always got to work poopy talk into
We're gonna
things,
roll
don't
the
we?
credits.
We
I
do,
think.
right? Boys have to work poopy
I'm
talk.
just gonna. Can I? I'm just.
All right.
This right out.
Drink the bad dad. Well, here's
Yeah.
what we're gonna do
It's
next.
Foster's
What
this
we're gonna do is, for one thing, hopefully you had a great time tonight. This is episode number 2. The podcast will be live with all of the goodies, et cetera, et cetera. We've got some lower third, we got the usual things to share with you. Check out the Freedom Journal. We are going to be going over
Yes.
time with John Lee Dumas, deconstructing his fabulous campaign. We're also, we want to send you over to the Health Network. That is www.mrbz.com/HN. The next thing is join us. If you'd like to join us for a live performance of the Mike Koenigs Show, we're doing it at Make Market Launch It this year. Okay, that's
March
part of the.
17th.
That's right. March 17th is the day, so you can check that out at.
I'm on St. Patty's Day.
Is it really?
March 17th?
I'm only a quarter Irish.
Yeah,
I'm drinking
I got
this
nothing
stuff
in me.
right now.
I got
Come on.
nothing in me.
We're more Australian right now than
All right.
Irish.
That's true. And South Philadelphian. I don't know where it's from.
There we go. So here's what we're going to do. You've got opportunities now to get richer and more famous than you already are when we go overtime with John Lee Dumas and we deconstruct his awesome crowdfunding campaign.
Freedom!
Check it out, the Freedom Journal. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to roll some credits.
Yeah.
We're going to take a little tiny break, and we're going to be back sitting here with John, taking your questions. Feel free to submit them right now to MikeKoenigsShow@gmail.com or submit them in chat. So let's roll those credits, and we'll be back in just a moment with John Lee Dumas. So long.
They put them down
All right.
below, so
yeah. So we can read them, we can talk about them. Isn't that nice? No, we're not stuck. We can. This is
stuck.
This is the part when we just do this. Okay.
I want to learn this whole crowdfunding. I want to do a Kickstarter on this. I'm going to do a documentary for the book.
Right.
That's cool.
And
this is the way to learn how to do it because
we are going to
if you
deconstruct my $422,000.
Wow.
Okay.
So and we can also deconstruct the now $12.
Yeah.
Engine.
So
well, I thought
that way you can see
number 9.
You can see the polls. You know, it's like what to do, what not to do.
All that. Well, so what we can do right now,
Foster's, please.
Oh, dude, yeah.
We can get some. It's right here. There we go.
The big.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
Some of this
Oh,
too.
poor Jade.
That beet juice was.
It was horrible.
Killer.
It was
horrible
so,
too.
Horrible.
Oh wait,
we got to make sure we get.
Well,
we do this every week.
But you
okay,
can
on now.
so people bring it up and you can pick off.
Every week
Who can I get to bring it up?
So thank you for staying with us through the credits, and the show technically ended about 13 seconds ago. JJ's going to go use the restroom. John's going to sit back down in this chair. We're going to clear all this stuff out, and you guys are going to talk about crowdfunding.
That's what we're going to do.
Okay,
I'm all set to go. We're going to deconstruct it.
All right.
So
You can keep your
friends
beer, by the
watching
way.
Periscope, you can continue watching
thank you.
Periscope. We're going to get our team out here. And you ready to rock and roll, buddy?
Let's rock and roll, baby.
With the Fostas.
Stay there.
Thank you. Winner up on the screen. Yes, that is Bobby Kuntz, who was in the drawing. And by the way, we give away a cool prize every week. So the way to get into that is join us by either visiting mrbz.com/show or texting MKShow to 58885. That's MKShow to 58885. And when you do that, you'll be entered automatically into all the drawings, not just the one for that week. Again, congratulations to Bobby Kuntz. We will get you a gift certificate or the product that's at Apple TV. So you ready to go?
I'm ready to rock.
All right. So where we left off last was your campaign, and we're talking about the Freedom Journal, which as of right now, when we're recording this, we're up to $415,176. There we go.
How's Engine going? Engine doing pretty good.
All right.
Well, we're at $12.
Okay, mrbz.com/engine. That is the.
So just to juxtapose the good and the bad and the ugly.
Okay, $12 raised in the past 3 hours for hanging in
Time out.
Billy Ron.
You have 60 days to go. I have 23 hours left.
Okay.
We have high hopes for
$1 million
Billy Ron.
Yeah.
You should click the button that says gallery though, because there are some incentivizations and scroll up a little bit.
Cheap ass level.
It's okay. The dollar. I know the dollar is the cheap.
You
ass
think
level.
you funny
That's
level.
Where everybody.
4 hands massage with Billy Ray.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 4 hands massage with Billy Ray. Can't resist this. Gets together. Okay, there got Master. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Don't send hate mail.
Yeah, I had to write that because when you put something like that, not everyone knows it's a joke. Like there are actually Americans like that.
You'll still get hate mail.
So yeah. I just want to maybe able to.
So yeah, if you just jump for $100,000,
go
you get
down.
the resort in Alabama.
These are campaigns you might like if you like this campaign.
Thank you for that. We got another predictable adventures messaging.
We got them beat by $11.
Yeah, $1 down there.
And
With
they
5
only
days
have 5
left.
days left.
So there you go. That's hanging an engine. But we're gonna get serious here with John Lee Dumas right now, and
as serious as we can get. John's got another beer hidden back behind him, by the way. So
all right.
There
you go. He's all set to go.
And by the way, guys,
the interview.
let's scroll up just a little bit here because
Okay.
I want people to see like magic. No, the other way.
Other way. Oh.
If you visit, and that's Mr. Biz, so mrbz.com/freedom, it'll take you to this page. And if you either pledge or if you already pledged, if you've up-pledged, you'll see those dollars just magically go up. So feel free to
Ding, ding,
to
ding,
make
ding,
magic
ding.
happen live.
Exactly, and get yourself a Freedom Journal. It's a great
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, where are my Freedom Journals at, by the way?
Yeah, where are those? We've got to get our props back here. We will get. We've
I'll
got
get
an
it.
assistant to get our props. Okay.
They're actually propping up John's Periscope
So
book.
I actually had a whole bunch of very interesting questions for you, Johnny. Let's get the Freedom Journals here, and I got to do this in such a way that it doesn't block our view of the TV. Yeah, you can put it right there. That works good. There we go. Might interfere with your. How do you win, right? We had a little technical thing happen. So let's talk a little bit about, I want to know, when you put this thing together, how much time did you think about it before you were able to execute? And like, how much preparation time did you spend, and how did you begin? Like, did you have your offer figured out right away? Just tell that story a little bit.
So one thing I do like to be very clear about is that successful product launches, community launches, anything, they don't happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
This project was a year in the making, like
Wow.
a full year in the making. And it was January 2015 when I had the idea for the Freedom Journal. And I assembled a team. And it took me a while to assemble a team of over 6 people.
Okay.
We have Brandon T. Adams, who is the crowdfunding king. He wrote a great book called Keys to the Crowd. I had Tom Morkes, who was my book launch manager. I had Richie Norton, who was the entire product creator. Of course, Kate Erickson, was behind the scenes doing all the detail and focus work.
Yep.
So we just had this whole team, a designer, we had an illustrator, we had an editor. So it takes a team to build a product to service the community. So none of this comes overnight. Like, that's really key. We took a year. It wasn't like a year of working every single day, but a year of planning it out to actually have a launch on January 4th of 2016 to result in what you see here, your journal, which is now $415,000.
It's incredible. So I want to talk a little bit about, go down the path of both the giveaways, designing and determining what those were, what inspired you, where'd you get your ideas, where'd you borrow from, and I'll get a little bit deeper on what things worked and what things didn't work as well. So why don't we begin with the designing the offers themselves?
So we're all standing on the shoulders of giants, and I think there's a really important distinction here to be made. I went and looked at successful book launches. Seth Godin's Icarus Deception.
Now, just traditional book launches, not
No, on Kickstarter.
Okay,
These
yeah,
are
all right.
Kickstarter
Specifically
book
yeah,
launches.
mhm.
So I went and looked at Seth Godin's Icarus Deception.
Okay.
Raised $287,000. Massive success. I went and looked at that. I looked at the #1 book launch, which, by the way, was really our initial goal to beat. We're going to be close. Doesn't look like we're going to get there, but Eric Ries did $589,000.
Wow.
So we have 23 hours to get there. We're going to do our best.
Yeah.
So if you're listening,
Yeah.
but that's our stretch goal.
Okay.
Is 589, and of course we're going to be thrilled with whatever happens. It's been an amazing campaign. But I went to those 2 launches and I said, what worked?
Mm-hmm.
And I studied them. I looked at them, and I also reached out to some other great journal campaigns within Kickstarter, like journal specific. A great one. Her name is Kate. Her last name is it's like Matsudaira. It's kind of a hard to pronounce last name, but she has the Spark Planner. And she ran it 2 different times over the course of, I think, one in 2013, one in 2015. Both were very successful. Got on the phone with her, I talked to her. So we're standing on the shoulders of giants. I learned from them, I implemented their strategies, but I didn't copy. There's a big difference between learning and implementing and copying. So I also wanted to make it unique. So I took what worked for them, what would work for me with my personality, my brand, my focus, and I made it my own.
Okay.
So learn from those who have come before you in everything, but make it your own.
Okay, so having done what you've done, what worked the best? What would you just flat out get rid of or change based on the cycle that you've gone through so far?
So the
Any
thing about the
specifics?
Freedom Journal campaign that's so critical to its success is the actual Kickstarter page itself. And I think if we took a minute actually
let's
and maybe start at the
scrub through
top,
it. Yep.
let's kind of start at the top, and I'll kind of walk through right now. And look, we've already had 3 pledgers since we started. I'm sure that's people that are watching right now.
Fantastic.
So keep on pledging, guys.
Here we go.
So if you start here, and again, we've showed the video earlier, so we're not going to play that again, but this is a killer video that I paid significant dollars for by Caleb Wojcik.
A range of what
Yeah,
other people
$5,000.
Okay.
That's what I paid for it. But it was a full production. It also came with some GIFs, some images, some stuff.
Yeah, it's
Caleb
well
Wojcik
done.
created it. It was a whole day. It was a whole process. So the video is key because that's what people are going to see. I mean, I think if I go to my actual behind the scenes, there's been almost 30,000 views of this video. So the video is key. You saw the engine video. That was an amazing video. Video is key. So let's keep going down here.
Okay.
So this is the description section right here. So you really want people to know in a second what it is. So this is a premium faux leather.
Why did he say full leather? I'm curious.
Because I'm an animal lover, Mike.
Okay.
Like it or not, I love animals, and I
love
want
them too.
people
I
to
love
know that this is faux leather.
Okay.
That I did not kill animals in the production of 20,000 of these things. Is that okay?
It's totally
Is that
cool,
all right?
man.
So it's a faux leather planner that's going to guide you to setting and accomplishing your #1 goal in 100 days. Begin your journey to freedom. As we talked about freedom earlier, keywords. So keep going down.
Okay, good. And then we've got
You get into like the description now, and as you go into the description, kind of just keep slowly scrolling, and I'll kind of be able to do this quickly. Like you really want to take people on a journey. So I wanted people to see the beauty of the Freedom Journal from different angles going down.
real
I
pretty.
wanted them to know that right at the beginning they're going to set a SMART goal, which is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time bound. I wanted them to feel like they had it in their hands already. So there's the image of Kate holding the Freedom Journal right there,
She has
getting ready to
beautiful
start.
hands, that Kate
She could be a
Erickson.
hand model, I know. And then, just continue to go down with what the Freedom Journal will do. Like, just let people know, like, hey, it's going to guide you, #1, in setting a SMART goal, and it takes you through that. And then it's going to hold you accountable for 100 days. Then you're going to be seeing your accomplishment at the end of those 100 days. And now we kind of start to put in some barriers that most people have. Like, why do entrepreneurs succeed? They set and accomplish goals. Like, that's why they succeed. And this is a barrier that I want to remove with the Freedom Journal. Of course, social credibility is important. So we've been featured in all of these areas. Some great podcasts, as
Where's
you
the
know.
Mike Koenigs show on this?
Well, it just happened. It'll go up tonight, obviously.
There we go. I have to update that
and then with some specific features of the journal, of course, the daily systems, the nightly recaps, the 10-day sprints, the quarterly reviews. Keep going, and like you can just see that like we're bringing people on this journey, and then it's outdoors now. So like, can you picture yourself outdoors, writing this down and seeing what's going on? It's great for any lifestyle. So we want to give a lot of different images of people kind of consuming and writing in the journal in different areas. There's actually one of me that actually I fell asleep that we took out last minute, but I liked it. Like I fell asleep with the journal like on my
you're faking
chest.
it. I know you. I know the way you did,
Of course I was. And then this is a cool GIF that was made. As you can see, it's kind of like you can see it being filled in right now.
That was cool. I noticed that. That was actually really, really cool. That's the only thing I liked about this whole campaign. All right.
And when you compare it to the engine campaign, it's tough. Like the
Yeah,
bar
no,
is so high.
It is.
And then this is another video that we won't play, but it's about just the sprints and their quarterly reviews, which are a really unique part of the campaign. So again, having a second video is important to really having people.
And that went up at what point in your campaign?
Day 1.
It did.
Yeah,
So
this page was day 1.
So this whole thing.
Yeah.
And like how? Okay. And if you were gonna guess, how many times you tweaked or adjusted, or was it pretty much nailed?
Give or take 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was constant.
It was a constant tweak.
So
again, this is a year
Your
in
OCD,
the making.
baby.
So there's a mobile app, there's a Facebook community, and then this is if you want to actually share the Freedom Journal, you're going to get the 30-day PDF, which is a huge start for a lot of people.
Yep.
This is really cool. This next section, I have video testimony. Like, go ahead and just press play on that. Can we press play? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Like, this is Chris Brogan giving a testimonial of the Freedom Journal. This is on the Podcasters Paradise Cruise. He's holding it in his hand. Chris Brogan's a big personality.
Yeah.
And he's talking about holding it. And like we had 6 of these video testimonials that, as you continue to scroll down, you can see that there's more people. And this is just continuing to give like real good social proof. There's Andrew Warner of Mixergy, a great podcast. There's Brandon Adams, who is the
here with us, actually, on the show right now.
Oh, Brandon Adams on the show. What's up, Brandon? In the house, and again, Keys to the Crowd is his book.
Nice.
So he was the crowdfunding expert of our show.
Brandon, we'll have to play Brandon if he's watching us.
He
right
is
now.
watching.
How's it going, Brandon? All right. Here, look at that guy. He's a good-looking guy.
You know, he's 25. Like
What?
I miss youth.
Ugh.
You know, he's a decade younger than
What
me.
are you
and
talking about?
maybe
you
a couple
punk?
decades younger than you.
Yeah. I don't like this at all. I'm getting all...
And then you know, you want to get to know the author of this. So there's a whole section about me and like what I do. Because a lot of people that came here know me. They can skip this section. But those that don't, like they might need to get to know the person
You gotta
behind
know who's on
the journal.
fire.
You know, literally, like balls of fire in my
Exactly.
hands.
Bam!
And this is really the end of it, where it's just kind of you keep going down pretty quickly. Just pictures of me, like there's me with Pat Flynn and Chris Ducker.
There
You know,
we
some
go.
more social proof right there.
Yep.
Just hanging
So
out.
those are people, yeah, all right.
And then a little army shot. Ed,
gotta have
you
that.
know, the military brother. You gotta have it. Then I gave a little special
Personal
note.
thing, I like that. Yeah, a
Mhm.
little scripty thing, that's smart.
Totally. And
The
then this is our team. So there's
Look at that.
myself, Kate, Brandon. There's Tom Morquez, who's the book launch manager. Richie Norton of Product. And there's Brandy, who's the designer. Everything you're seeing, like she designed it. Like she's the designer.
Really well done, yeah.
We talk about the different reward levels, and if you click on those, which I don't recommend right now, but they'll take you to that reward level,
Got it.
Et cetera.
Yeah.
So we have all these things. And then we go through the project timeline. We want to bring
How
people
much
in
time? Sure.
and say, hey, this was January 2015. That was the idea. Then this is the timeline where it happened. Because again, I know that people are going to study this campaign, and I want to give them the opportunity to. I mean, $415,000, that's not bad, you know, for a $39
What do you mean
Freedom
it's
Journal.
not bad?
And then you can do a little FAQ section, which I really recommend, because
Yeah.
people are going to keep asking you questions, and you just want to have like the actual FAQs that are up there to just
Great.
slow down all of those questions they might have.
Yep, yeah, this is great. You should just have to get a link to the Mike Koenigs
So it was,
show.
wait,
and
it was
this thing will be
2468.
complete.
Let's keep go to the
all
top.
the way down?
No, up to the top. Up to the top.
Up to the top? All right, let's
See if
check it
anybody's
out.
pledged since.
71.
The 3 more people pledged.
Look at this.
Bang, bang,
This
bang.
thing works. I'll tell you what. You know,
I love live shows.
All right. So Paula Dirks posted a message here. I think we'll answer her question in a couple minutes, but I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that I don't know why the hell that happened. Okay.
Don't
that
acknowledge,
she,
don't
yeah,
acknowledge.
exactly.
Wait,
She may have been calling me right now.
You're not going to take my question?
Yeah,
Okay.
this
I'll just call your
it's
iPad.
the iPad handoff app. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about from the time you put it up. One thing I had asked you is, okay, where have you been marketing and advertising this other than through your show and your community?
So my show and my community definitely make up a large part of our marketing efforts. We had a special 33 episodes on EO Fire where I just brought past guests on and talked about them setting and accomplishing goals. My email list, and we have a very specific Freedom Journal interest list that we were hitting every single day and just sending them a great content, but a call to action to the Freedom Journal
Reasons
as well.
to buy, all right.
Obviously social media, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, etc. But as far as outside of my little sphere of EO Fire, 40 interviews I did on other shows. This would actually be number 41.
Wow.
Us right here, day before we end. So I went on Lewis Howes, Amy Porterfield's, Pat Flynn had me as a sponsor twice on his podcast.
Wow.
Greg Hickman, Rick Mulready. I mean, I literally could just list, 40 people. Hal Elrod on his show. I mean, I was basically, if you were a top business podcast in like the top 50, like I was on your show during this month, basically. Like, and guest podcasting is such an amazing way to market, because it's not just like a wham bam thank you ma'am. It's not like a tweet that's just like there and gone. It's not like that.
Yep.
Podcasts, it goes live, and then people listen to it that day. Sometimes they listen to it a week later, sometimes 3 weeks later. So people are always now for the first time listening to those episodes. And that's the beauty of podcasting in general. And then we can, that's a whole other topic that we've talked about in your show in the past.
Right.
But that's why podcasting was a huge focus for me. We did some traditional media. Didn't see a ton of traction from that. Don't love it. Didn't spend a lot of effort. Didn't expect it. Yeah. But Facebook
and when you
ads.
say traditional media, meaning?
Like getting like a PR company and saying
Okay.
like let's publish this on PR Web. Like,
Doesn't do jack.
Nothing.
No.
Zero.
Yeah, yeah.
-0 actually, because it actually took some of my time.
Yeah.
But Facebook ads killed it. YouTube ads were okay. We did some Instagram ads, which also did really well.
Really?
So
Okay.
those were like 3 things that we spent money on.
So the top 3 in order would be Facebook, Instagram, then YouTube, or?
I would actually say Instagram and Facebook were right there.
No kidding.
Instagram probably a little bit more because it's a supply and demand thing. People have figured out Facebook ads.
Yeah.
Instagram ads are still a little new, so there's just not that saturation yet. So I'm getting killer clicks, like 30, 40 cents to get people to the ads right now. I mean to this page right here. So that's been huge.
Wow. And you had said earlier that the video had been watched about 30,000 times, you figured, somewhere in that neighborhood?
Yeah.
So if 30,000, you got 6,500 backers.
Mhm.
And you got to know some people came here more than once.
People are pressing play on that a lot because, again, they're studying it. So people have probably watched it, some people 10, 15, 20 times.
Sure. So
But even if you just do the math, so 7,000 people bought out of roughly 30,000 people that saw that video, which is a fifth, roughly 35,000. If it is,
Okay, yeah.
so a fifth, 1 out of 5, which means if you're spending 30 cents, that means you're paying $1.50 to get someone to buy something that's way more than $1.50, right?
$39
You should've spent more money.
is this, but we're having people that are doing the 2-pack, the
Right,
4-pack.
2,400.
I've had,
Yeah.
we've had people that have bought 10,000 a day with JLD. The guy that bought yesterday, which is a 10,000 day with me here in San Diego, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. He's like, I heard about you yesterday. He's
Wow.
like
Wow.
that's how it was crazy, like how quick it happened.
Yeah. Well, that's it's interesting. So on a related but unrelated note, I'm sure you get this too. Like when we did our first episode, we had someone approach us and say they wanted to hire us to do a consulting gig, and they had just raised a bunch of money. It was like, so the exposure and the value of podcasts, but also this just legitimizes and increases your authority and your expert status. There's no question about it. So I'm going to ask you to ask any questions in a second here, Ed, but I'm curious about tools or resources. So aside from studying other campaigns, are there some tools, resources, sites that are available for crowdfunders, Kickstarter campaigns that you found useful in terms of like time savers, shortcuts, metrics, anything like that?
Well, fortunately, I had a crowdfunding expert on my team.
Yep.
Brandon Adams. We shouted him out. He's done successful campaigns. He's written a book about it. I mean, he knows what he's doing when it comes to crowdfunding. So I was exposed to some great opportunities. One specifically, Kick Booster. Really interesting. It's a company that's been built because of the success of Kickstarter.
Yep.
So Kick Booster is a way that I can just say, in fact,
That's how I signed
you're a
up,
Kick
yeah.
Booster.
Mhm.
You go ahead and you sign up at kickbooster.com for my campaign. You get an affiliate link, and then you get 10% of any dollar that gets raised through your link. Like if you had sent somebody that got a $10,000 package, like you would have gotten 10% of that.
You know what?
Boom, $1,000
The more you
bucks.
spend, the more you save.
So I have 585 boosters, they're called. So people now that became my affiliate throughout this campaign.
Do you know what percentage of revenue?
$4,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so it's relatively low. So they're
Yeah.
more like advocates.
Yeah,
and
they're
ambassadors.
advocates.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and this is the thing, is of course, you want the best for your kick boosters, but they're out there shouting it out to their audience, and then I'm shouting it out, and then it's just there's all these different places, and you know how advertising is. You see it 7 or 8 times, then you make the decision, and then maybe you just go and type, thefreedomjournal.com into your browser, and then you buy. So the boosters, they're going to get everything that's coming to them, but the reality is that there's for sure more dollars than that resulted because of that. And for 65.72, baby.
That's what I'm talking
Keep going up.
All right, this is exciting. So Ed, do you have a couple of questions for Johnny?
No, I'm actually really blown away by this. I think it's better than the campaign we built today.
So I think you're a little too close to Engine. I think if you step back, you realize there's some beauty in your creation.
I really like the way that you strung the images out and created. So you're on a sailboat holding on to the Freedom Journal and a pen, and it's not just a picture of the journal; it's a picture of the lifestyle that you're offering with the result that somebody gets with what you have. I think that's real genius, actually. So
freedom,
really, really good. We did have a question from chat, which is worth saying, which said basically, how many testimonials is too many on a page like this?
Yeah. Can we give a shout out to the person who asked the question?
Yeah. Let me pull. I think it was Ed Keels, actually. Just pulled that up. So yeah.
Ed Keels. Ed Keel's great question, my friend. Listen, you don't want the testimonials to be distracting. You don't want them to take away from what you're doing. So we spend a lot of time on that because I really could have gone an endless amount of testimonials because I had 100 beta testers, everything. I wanted it to be clear, concise, and for it to make sense. So I really think 6 is a right number, and that number is intentional. Like, we thought about that. Should it be 10? Should it be 2? Should it be whatever? 6 was the right number for us, and we've gotten a lot of great feedback on that.
It's really good.
Yeah, I think that's smart, just knowing what wins too much.
Yeah.
Very smart. All right, this is a question for Paula. So this is a deeper question, but I think it's an example. I'll be curious what you have to say. This is from Paula Dirk. She says, John, I've already written a youth mentoring guide for women and girls and published in 2012. 2013, I did interviews of 12 men for a similar book, Men and Boys, along with male co-author. I considered doing a crowdfunding campaign because I couldn't afford to finance another book, wasn't sure how to proceed. Questions. How can I validate if any men are looking for such a book? Number 2, how do I know a book is appropriate for a male audience versus other media? Number 3, since youth mentoring appeals to a small slice of human beings, how do I attract the right group of contributors via crowdfunding? So I have my own opinion, but this is a pretty common type of question I get, which is...
So the word validate and validation is huge, and it's really important, and I think people need to really focus on that when they're entrepreneurs and they're looking to build something, because all you have is time as an entrepreneur. And if you're wasting time actually creating something that's not validated, then you're wasting your most valuable asset. That's exactly why crowdfunding was created, is to validate ideas. So don't ask, can I validate something on a validation platform? It's like, no, like, you validate that on a validation platform. That's why Kickstarter has been created. And another really cool thing that we haven't 100% decided that we're going to do, but I think is really interesting to share because people can think about this. You launch a Kickstarter campaign, and guess what? If you have like a funding goal of $10,000 and you don't get there, you don't get any money. So that's something to think about. Like, if you raise $8,000 on a $10,000 campaign.
Depending on what type of campaign, because they have some that you actually get the money.
Well, that's
you
with
don't have to
Indiegogo.
get-
Kickstarter is all or nothing.
That's right.
Indiegogo, you can have it that way, but Kickstarter is all or nothing. So, $8,000 on $10,000, zero. $12 on $1 million, zero.
Dang.
But hey, 60 days. You have 60 days,
We're
my friends.
1.2% of the way there, and I do not despise that
point-
they have small
point
beginnings.
1.2.
Yeah, point
No,
1.2.
so here's the difference between the Army and the Marine Corps right there. So math,
It's a decimal.
a general idea of the right ballpark Marines.
Just a decimal away. All you need is a bigger bomb. So
$10,000 would be 1.2.
Marines have never been known for speaking in complete
So
sentences, pronouncing words properly.
Take your idea and validate it on Kickstarter. And then guess what happens? If you don't hit your funding goal, and set a legit funding goal. Like, we set $25,000. We knew we were going to blow through, and there's another one. Backer just came on. Thank you for watching and backing. So we knew we were going to blow through 25,000, but again, going back to that Pencils of Promise, like, I wanted the first 25K to be going to Pencils of Promise. So that's why that number was there, because I wanted to build a school with the first $25,000. So don't look at my goal as something strategic. That was something more. That was for charity. But when you're setting up a pledge goal, set it for something that you want to stretch to. And guess what? If you succeed or fail with that idea, there's something called Indiegogo On Demand, where you can just roll your Kickstarter campaign into Indiegogo right afterwards, and you're off to the races again on Indiegogo. And guess what? You've learned a lot during that first 30, 60 days that you had, and you're going to be able to apply that in Indiegogo. So whether you're successful or not in your Kickstarter campaign, boom.
So you roll your Kickstarter campaign into an Indiegogo campaign.
It's almost a push of the button. Like, they will just transfer it into Indiegogo, and then it'll just survive. So this will just roll in Indiegogo, and it will continue going. We haven't decided if we're doing it yet, but we might test it out for 14 days and just say, hey, let's just put this on Indiegogo to see if it gets any unique traction.
Well,
Maybe.
the nice thing is you can just send your links around over there, and that's it's pretty easy.
And
for
well,
you.
that's why we were really smart with thefreedomjournal.com is the only link we shared anywhere. We didn't share that long stupid link up there.
Yeah.
Just thefreedomjournal.com. So I go to GoDaddy and I just enter in, copy and
redirect.
paste the new Indiegogo link, and all of a sudden everybody just poof, they're there.
Seems to me you'd be a fool not to do it. That's just
Well,
my opinion. But you know what? I'm
there
sure
it
you have
is.
your reasons. It's not like you don't think things through. So I think my last question that I had for you is, when you look at the list, so if we looked at this from a Pareto principle point of view, knowing what you know now, having done it, if you, let's say, had linear time available to you and nothing standing in your way, and you had a fairly well-conceived idea, from start to finish, how long do you think it would take for you to whip up a good winning campaign?
3
and
months.
do all the work? Okay. All right. That's to write it, compose, write the sales letter, put everything together.
Get all the interviews scheduled and recorded prior to that, because you want them to be going live during the campaign.
Okay,
Guest posting.
So
on the
that's
right-
so we're assuming once again that you would do a podcast-driven campaign.
Totally.
But I'd say if you were just doing the mechanics of this, so let's say traffic wasn't the issue and you weren't in your podcaster's shoes, putting together a Kickstarter campaign, the mechanics of that. So the composition of the sales letter, the video, the content, the team.
45 days.
Okay, about half that.
Yeah.
So either way, sizable amount of work.
Yeah.
And it also goes to illustrate that, in I've talked to quite a few people who've done campaigns, right? And everyone I've talked to has said that, I guess I can't say everyone, now that I think about it. Everyone's had a fairly different, but having an audience like you had was very, very important. But a friend of mine did, it's actually my wallet. He did basically a high-end wallet made out of platinum, sold for a couple $100. And they raised $500,000 on that, driven mostly by media, getting on blogs and getting attention, but he had no audience of his own. So it was a gadget sale, which of course works really well for these as well. But I think what was interesting about yours, the fact that it was a book, for that, if you wouldn't have had an audience, what the probability of, I'm curious the other people who did books, like, did they have an audience, did they have a following in order to make that successful? So it's a long-handed way of...
Yeah, we're the third most successful book launch of all time on Kickstarter. Actually, sorry, we just moved into second place. So we're the number 2 most successful book launch of all time on Kickstarter.
You said the other one was 589?
Eric Rees,
Yeah.
589.
Okay.
We're now at 415.
Okay.
And then Seth Godin had a very successful one, which is a little bit, I think it was actually 287. So we passed it a while ago.
Yeah.
But those are the top 3 most successful just book launches on Kickstarter.
Yep.
So, it definitely helps all those people that I just mentioned, Seth Godin and Eric Rees, both have big audiences. But the really cool thing about Kickstarter and just about the world that we live in general is that it's the idea. Like, I could have had the biggest audience in the world, and I could have the exact audience that I have right now, passionate, engaged, Fire Nation, like right there. But if I had a crappy product, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
It really comes down to the product. So your friend had no audience, but a really killer niche that a lot of people wanted, and it just got picked up by the right people, and people said, hey, I want that.
Right on. Right on. I think it blows me away. I'm totally blown away with the success. And got to give a big shout out for your team who's watching or listening right now. So Kate, congratulations. Another great job. And so let's wrap this up. Anything else for you, Ed Rush?
It's great, man.
Johnny,
This
you
is
got
really,
anything else you
really
want to
great.
add other than head on over to mrbz.com/freedom one last time?
Yeah, let's get it on the screen if we
Yeah,
can real
yeah.
quick. mrbz.com/freedom. Go through Mike's Kick Booster. Get this
There you
guy
go.
10%. Look at
There we go.
65.74 right
Bam.
there.
Just
That's your money right there. That's coming in.
All right, big money tonight. All right, well, I think what we'll do then is we're going to wrap this one up. So this segment's going to be pushed to the podcast. You'll have that available along with some additional resources and references from the program. Make sure you're with us. Next week, episode number 3, same time, same place, mrbz.com/show to register for show notes and everything else. But this has been another successful episode. I want to give a big thanks to my team one more time for putting this together. You guys kick butt. And thanks for helping make my dreams come true. I hope we helped you with yours as well. And check out the Freedom Journal. This is Mike Koenigs, John Lee Dumas, Ed Rush, and
Good
the whole
night.
team. Thanks for watching.